An inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Red Onion Randy, and welcome to my podcast. I hope you enjoy listening to me. I've already discussed the clothing situation, but I did not discuss shoes, footwear. Basically because it's an entire episode in and of itself. For several reasons. You can either, like I mentioned with personal clothes, you can either buy them from commissary or you're stuck with whatever the state provides for you. And obviously the state is going to give you the cheapest garbage they can give you. So footwear is important from a personal defense standpoint especially. Because if you got some state shoes that if you're moving around and, you're trying to dip and dodge and fight and stuff, they can rip and tear on you, or if they got no soles, no traction, and you try to fight, and you're moving, you hit a slick piece of concrete, your feet are going out from underneath of you. So shoes are really important in prison. And we have a saying here in the state of Virginia. I don't know if it's, if they have this same saying in other states or whatnot, but in Virginia, we have it. So imagine two guys are in the park and they're gambling or, they arguing about whatever, and things become heated to the point where they gonna pump them hands. All right, you're gonna have one dude tell the other dude, "Yo, man, lace them up." Lace them up. What you trying to do? Lace them up. They'll start, back and forth. And lace them up means put your shoes on if you ain't wearing them and tighten them up. Strap them down so you have good good grip and movement and security in your ankles and so on and so forth. And that's a prelude to fighting. That means, things are getting serious. Me personally, I always thought it was stupid because if I'm going to fight you, I'm just going to punch you. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to do my best to drop you with the first one. Well, I warn you, but that's just one of them things that dudes do when they get amped up and they get hyped. Most times when guys come out in the park, and I'll talk about the different, shoes and whatnot here in a moment. Well, when you come out in the park, and especially like if you had some beef with a dude the day before, or, you had words with him or something, or you look at a dude and you clearly see in his face and his body language that this dude's about to blow a fuse. He's about to do something to someone. It's just a matter of who, when. So you always check his footwear. You always look at his feet to see what is he wearing. Now, me in my case, I throw guys off because I don't wear shoes in the park. The only time I wear shoes is when I go outside the rec yard or outside the building, or I'm working out in the cell. That's the only time I wear shoes. Other than that, I wear my shower shoes because I prefer to fight in my bare feet over wearing shoes. I'm just more comfortable fighting like that. I feel that I have better grip, I have better balance, and it gives me the added benefit of guys sleeping on me. They think they have the advantage when in fact they do not. But most guys, like I said, they wear shoes. Now, you have different types of shoes. Depending on what prison you're in, and what level security that prison is. So like level 1s through level 3s, they don't give you state shoes. They actually give you state boots. And those are the dark brown boots that you see, in prison movies and stuff like that, with the thick, hard rubber soles and just, the regular boot laces and whatnot. And they only come up to your ankles. They're real clunky and they're real heavy. So if you're fighting against a guy like that, his agility is going to be compromised because they are so heavy, they're so encumbersome, and you can't move. You can't slide. And, it hinders you. It hinders your opponent's movement or your own if you're wearing those boots. Now, from level 4s on up to a level 6, they used to give you what we call Jackie chains. These are Chinese-made shoes. They just have a thin rubber sole with a little cloth upper. And they remind you of boat shoes or deck shoes. They're just slip-ons. They don't have no laces or nothing like that. They're real light. They're real nimble. But they're really unsecure. You know, you don't feel confident wearing those shoes. Though, if you know how to kick, you can do some damage with them because it gives you complete freedom of movement. Now they have, here in the state of Virginia, they have a new type of shoe. They no longer give those shoes out. They have these shoes that's got a really, really hard, stiff rubber sole. Almost, it's like a rubber plastic mix together, and it's really stiff and really hard. And they got a cloth upper, and it's got 3 Velcro straps on it. They're a combination between the boots and the Jackie chains. They give you some movement, but you don't have a lot of flexibility in the soles of them. So that does kind of hamper your movement a little bit. Though, if you can kick a dude with them in the temple, you're going to knock his ass out. End of discussion. The fight is over with if you get hit in the face or the head with one of those soles because they are that hard. I mean, those things are literally weapons in and of themselves. And it's always boggled my mind why the state of Virginia actually gives them to us. They would be better off giving us cowboy boots to wear than those shoes they give us. They're that freaking hard and dangerous, especially on a person like me who's flexible and can kick above my head, and most other guys' heads unless they're 6'6" or something. Though I think that's completely stupid to kick somebody in the head to fight unless they're on the ground, but that's a different episode entirely. Now, the shoes on commissary. Everywhere except for Red Onion. Red Onion sells these shoes made by Rawlings, and they got 2 Velcro straps on them, and they're comfortable to wear. They're cheaply made, and they do fall apart on you, especially if you happen to go outside and it's raining and they get wet. I literally just had to turn the paperwork in yesterday morning to buy me another pair, which I'm a little upset about because I just bought these like 6 months ago. But it is what it is. You have to do what you have to do. You know, my medical issues and everything, I have to have shoes that are comfortable and can give me, you know, some support and whatnot. But at Lowlands, you actually have a choice between buying Converse shoes and buying Reebok running shoes. Man, I wish I could get the Reeboks. And those are actually real shoes. These, you know, high-quality shoes. And they cost it. You know, they're like $80-some for a pair of shoes. But they're high-quality, good name-brand shoes that are going to last you a while. You know, and those are what most guys want to have. You know, forget the fight thing. They just, you know, they want them for the style factor. You know, they want them so they can show off like, yeah, I got some money. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, in prison, a lot of dudes are into fashion and, you know, their looks and, you know, and trying to have a little bit of swagger with themselves. And to me, you know, I don't really care about that. I take care of myself. I'm not going to walk around in dirty, grungy, stained clothes or whatnot. I'm going to have respect and pride in myself and my appearance. But I'm not, you know, at the same time trying to cut stuff and sew stuff differently just, you know, to make a style, you know, statement, a fashion statement. But a lot of guys like to do that, and it always starts with the shoes. You know, and the name brand shoes kicks that off. All prison shoes have to be white, unless you're at like a private prison that sells, like, all right, Lawrenceville is a level 3 prison here in the state of Virginia. But Lawrenceville is owned by a private prison corporation that just rents out bed space to the state of Virginia. And because they're a private prison, they have their own clothing regulation and their own shoes regulations. And they get a lot more stuff. They can actually, I still think that the shoes have to be all white, but you can also buy boots. They're like real Timberland boots and stuff of that nature. They got a couple different name brands for a person to buy. And those, range from a light tan to a medium brown to like a dark brown. But the reason why the shoes have to be all white is because the prison staff, their shoes have to be all black. And that helps, let's say I run up on a CO in the closet, I knock him out, and I take his uniform off and I put him on, but I don't put his boots on. Let's say they don't fit me. So I have to wear my shoes, and I go try to walking out the front gate in the prison uniform, and the CO see white shoes, it's going to click in their mind, yo, this dude just did something he ain't supposed to do. They're going to pile on your ass, they're going to beat you down, and then they're going to lock you up and charge you for attempted escape. Not to mention the assault on the CO and so on and so forth. So that's the reason why the prison shoes have to be white all the time, except in a few circumstances, like I mentioned with the private prisons and with the boots being brown. It's just, it helps COs to recognize that somebody's doing something they ain't supposed to be doing. I say for me, though, one of the main reasons why I want to get, the best shoes I can possibly get, and I actually talked to the assistant warden several months ago to see if he could run it up the chain of command to get Keefe to sell the Skechers slip-ons, because those are so much better than the Rawlings. And they say that we can't have, like the Reeboks or the Converse tennis shoes here at a level 6 because they have shoelaces and you could use that to hang yourself. Never mind that several people have hung themselves up here using the bed sheets that they give us for free that they ripped up. You don't need shoelaces, but, when you're dealing with politicians in Richmond who've never actually stepped foot in a prison and are making the decision, the decision-making process that's never actually worked here and don't understand what's going on, you have dumbass rules like that. So I tried to get him to do that, and I haven't heard anything back, and I really didn't expect to, but, I tried my hand, because I want to get the best shoes that I can get because, one, I exercise, I take care of myself, and like I said, I had some tumor issues, though that's pretty much gone away. I've basically recovered from that. So a quick aside, for all of you who have called DOC and sent emails on my behalf to try to get them to treat me, I truly appreciate it. I thank you very much. You have no idea how much that has meant to me. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's the thing about shoes. They have a lot of different, connotations to it. As far as your fight game goes, whether you can fight, whether you're looking to fight, what money you have, your status, how much you care about your appearance, your ability to move, your ability to run and exercise, and there's all these different things that revolve around a person's footwear in prison. Yeah, that's basically it. I really can't, think of much else. Oh, they make poor hiding spots, by the way. I've said this from the beginning. I hope to God it is my most fervent, sincerest prayer that anybody who listens to me never, ever comes to prison. But at the end of the day, I know exactly how easy it is to come to a place like this. Don't hide nothing in your shoes. That is literally one of the first places the COs look when they're shaking you down for contraband. So get that out your mind right now.
You have 1 minute remaining.
This has been Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoyed listening to my podcast. And for those of you who listen to me on Apple Podcast, I would truly appreciate if you not only rate what you think my podcast is worth. 5 stars, hopefully, but I'll take whatever you give me. And also, if you could just give me a short review of what you think, it would really help. That way I can reach new listeners. Take care and stay safe. I hope you enjoyed listening to me.
Thank you for using GTL.